What is up, everyone? Welcome to another October daily video where I'm doing 31 days of Halloween drawing. Today I'm going to be drawing a witch. Hey, how did you get in here? Ah! Alright, so let's get started on our cute little witch here. And we're going to start off with the eyes. If you guys have watched some of my other videos, I tend to a lot of times start with eyes. It's just something I tend to do a lot. It's gonna have some big eyes, and with Procreate you can tap and hold and it'll make perfect circles there for you. Okay, those eyes are just a little big, and hold and it'll make a perfect circle. There we go. And same thing over here. Make a circle, close it up, hold it, and then hold your other finger on there, and it'll make a perfect circle. I'm using Procreate. That is one nice thing with Procreate. That's why I like doing cartoons on here. I can get some nice clean circles and lines and all that kind of stuff. Gonna make a new layer, and we're gonna get these lids. I almost said eyebrows. Eyelids in here. And I might as well just finish off this head and bring that up. There we go. Now the reason I did that on a separate layer is I can go back to that and erase this. Let's get on our standard liner there. It doesn't have streamline on. And the reason I do that, I can make these nice clean erases and not have to worry about where things meet up. Okay, keep going from there. Now, I don't draw female characters all that often. You guys might have already noticed that. I don't do it very often, but it is something I am trying to do a bit more. It is probably one of my weaker aspects of drawing. So, doing stuff like this kind of helps push me to do things like that, doing different style characters, doing female characters and whatnot. And I'm always about trying to push myself a little bit. Now doing cartoons and stuff like that itself isn't really pushing me, but doing different style characters really does. So and I want to, I think in the future, I know I started off with a couple months ago I was going to be doing the Funky Fantasy Friday stuff. I know you guys were liking some of that stuff and feeling involved with giving me ideas and whatnot for drawings. Unfortunately, life hit the fan around that same time, and I kind of had to take a break from it right away. I only got a couple videos out, but I do want to get back into doing that. I think I might start doing those videos, much like these videos have been this month, where it's a little bit more live. It kind of helps with the editing time too, so I can get those out more often on Fridays. Probably won't be every Friday, or maybe not even every other Friday, but I will try to do it as often as I can. But we're just going to continue and getting the line work in on this. Cute little nose. Now I am using the 2nd gen iPad Pro with the 1st gen Apple Pencil. Alright, let's combine these. I'm going to make a new layer so I don't start getting confused on what's on what layer. And I'm going to do the hair all on this layer. So I'll try to do this section right here in one sweeping motion. Keep it nice and clean. Do that. And we'll go and that. Okay, so now I can go in and erase any of this stuff that's overlapping here. There we go. Go back to our hair layer. And we'll finish up doing this section of the line work. And trying to use my entire wrist or my entire arm when I'm drawing and not just my wrist. Especially with these big motions like this with the hair. Now, I did do the sketch beforehand, the sketch I'm following right now. And I mainly did that to really speed up this process a little bit since there are so many drawings this month. This really helps speed up that just a bit. And if you haven't watched any of the other videos this month, I do suggest maybe going checking those out. Every video, you know, they're along the same lines of me showing you how I'm using Procreate, but there's a little different things I do in each video and each style of cartoon that can maybe help teach you more on different things to do in Procreate. So I have a list up on the top right up here that should pop up, and you can go there and check that out after this video is done. Of course, can't leave early. Oh no, I will not have that. Okay, and let's go in and erase. Which one did I just click on? Hair layer. I want this layer. That chin part there. Okay, I think I combined all of this now. And we'll just keep going. This one's got a little bit more lines than some of the other ones. I think the most lines I did in one drawing, though, probably was the Mummy, to be honest. That one had a lot of wraps that I had to do. That one was one of my absolute favorites I did this month, though. So if you haven't seen that one, make sure you go check that out, because I think that one turned out really cute. Had a lot of character to the drawing. Now you can probably tell I'm following my sketch line pretty close. It's not perfectly to a T on how I did it originally, but I'm staying pretty close to it. But the reason I'm following this closer than I would probably maybe most sketches is that I did do these sketches, a lot of these sketches beforehand on paper. If you want to get a hold of those drawings, you can actually get them on my Patreon. So that's something you want to check that out. You can get those sketches for yourself. $1 to join. You can actually also get my pen set that I'm using here as well by joining my Patreon. So that's also another little added bonus. I do sell them on Gumroad as well, but they are $1 cheaper essentially if you join my $1 Patreon. They're $2 over at Gumroad, so something to keep in mind. You get a little discount that way. Alright, I think that is everything for the line work. So now we're going to go in, we're going to make a new layer underneath the line layer. Let's click on the line layer real quick, turn that to a reference. So when we start putting in colors, everything will reference to the line layer I made. I think I'm going to kind of do her witch's outfit in kind of this pinkish color. Maybe go a little more pink. Let me do this grayish color that has just a slight reddish hue to it. I think that looks pretty good. I didn't finish off my line right here. There we go. Okay, go back to the color layer there. Don't want to accidentally start putting my colors in on that layer. I've done that many times. I've done that a couple times this month. Realized it really late into the drawing and pretty much had to redo the entire drawing. That was the which one was that? That was the Plague Doctor. I did that one, right? I pretty much had to go in and completely redo the entire drawing from scratch again. So that wasn't very fun. I was not all too happy about that. But in the end, Drawing still turned out great. Didn't lose my motivation to finish that drawing. Well, I did for a little while. I was a little sad, so I didn't go and do that right away. I had to give that one a day's break and come back and draw it again. Actually, we'll go just a little darker on this, even when I add some shadows. We'll make this slightly darker than the shadow area that's already over there. So I'm actually going to do the leggings here, this red color. And then these boots are going to be the same color as the dress. And a lot of times I like to keep my color palette pretty limited, as I guess is the best way to put it. I'm trying to put a bunch of colors throughout the drawing everywhere. I think a lot of times it ends up looking a little better if you can keep your palette pretty simple and kind of uniform throughout. So, you know, I'm not having this can be a completely different color than this, and then everything is just overly colorful. That's not normally my style. Maybe we'll make this like give her maybe some orangish colored hair. That's cute. I like this. Redhead witch character here. I think the color palette on this is quite nice. And then if we do the brown for the stick, that is going to stick all within the same color palette. Like that. And maybe we'll do this in here, same color as all of her accents. Okay, so let's go in and start adding some shadows. And we're gonna go to black. We have a new layer that we made here. It's actually gotta go above because we're gonna tap this, go to clipping mask. That's gonna make it so the lines don't go out of my line layer there. And we're just gonna go in, and I like to just block out these big areas of shadow. And this makes it so I don't overthink where my shadows are gonna go right off the bat. You just kind of go in and then refine it afterwards. Okay, so we're gonna go up here. We're gonna drop that opacity down. I like having a nice strong shadow. All right, now this is the part where we're just gonna go in and start refining everything. I'm gonna make sure that's on standard liner here. And get rid of some of this bulk that doesn't need to be in shadow. And then just refine where everything's gonna go. And this is literally one of my favorite parts about doing cartoon drawings, is getting these shadows in here and really refining how it all looks, because it's amazing how quickly the drawing can change just by adding these shadows in here. Goes from really flat to just something really nice to look at. Okay, so we got the base shadow part down. A couple of spots here I just saw as I zoomed out that need just a little bit of shadow. But now we're gonna do one of the cooler parts, I guess. Really kind of just helps get this image, you know, kind of being pulled together, and that is adding our rim light. So go to my streamline brush for this, and this is going to help give this piece a little sense of realism to its shadows. Like some shadows are being creeped in from behind the character. And this is one of those moments that I like because it really just makes the whole image just a whole new piece almost. Add maybe a couple of dots here. This is kind of a fun way to essentially like add shadow without actually, or not add shadow, add highlights without actually adding any highlights. So it's one of my favorite parts to do. And you just kind of go in and find these areas that kind of are on the back end of a drawing, and then kind of bring them forward. And like this whole area right here is so shadowed that you kind of lose the effect of the like the orange hair here, and this kind of brings out that orange again. Aren't you glad I didn't say orange? Or yeah, no, aren't you glad I didn't say apple? It doesn't make sense right now. Oh, Jake. Sometimes I just have to shake my head at myself. That's okay. If you can't make fun of yourself, then what's the point? Okay, let's go in and add some highlights. I'm actually going to make these kind of yellowish colored because I'm going to be having her lit from the moon. And this is going to be all on a new layer. And just get a couple little spots. I'm not going to make this super heavily highlighted. I normally don't go heavy with my highlights. Just a couple spots to kind of show that there's something going on for lights, other than just the shadows. Okay, so let's turn that opacity down. Actually, one area I'll do a little bit of white. Alright, so a couple more final details we gotta do. I'm gonna add some freckles onto this character here. And we're gonna bring that opacity down. There we go. Another layer. Go to this reddish color here. Add one of those little guys. Actually, for that, go to my standard liner. And bring that opacity down as well. Now, you guys may have noticed, and I know this seems random, I was wearing my little Happy Halloween-y shirt at the beginning of this video. If you want to pick those up, I do have a link for that in the description. It's something I designed last month, and I think it's awesome. So go check that out if you want to get yourself one. It's not too late. I'm going to have them available through November as well. So if you missed out on getting them this October and you want them for next year, you can still get it. So go back to our fine liner, and now we're just going to kind of go in and add some extra defining lines for this piece. Bring this down just a little bit. That moment in the drawing where you just gotta find areas that look like they could just use a little life, and you know, if you add too much, there's a reason I put this on a separate layer. You can go in and just, you know, erase what you don't like and keep what you do. Okay, and I think the last thing I need to do is we're gonna make a dark blue sky. That's kind of purple still. There. Desaturate it a little bit. Okay. Oh, I still got reference on. Okay, so turn off reference. That way the whole back area gets filled. There we go. And last but not least, let's make a moon. If you watch a couple of the videos, I've made a moon a couple times. And I do it the same way each time. So we're going to go make this big yellow circle. Tap and hold. Close. Okay. There we go. Now, turn that back on. We're going to make another layer above that. Go to white. I'm gonna grab my filler brush here. And we're going to do clipping mask. And we're just going to go around the edge here. And get that kind of filled in. And then go to Gaussian blur. Pull that out. And actually we'll do Gaussian blur on that as well. All right, and there it is, our finished cute little witch here. Now, I think this turned out absolutely amazing, but you're gonna have to let me know what you think down below. Remember, this is only one of 31 drawings this month, so if you haven't watched any of the other videos, make sure you check those out. Like I said, it's gonna be up in the card up above here, and it's gonna be at the end of the video, so check those out. And remember, like always, keep drawing, and until next time, bye.